Hi there, and welcome to Word on Wednesday, a chance to revisit some of the things we were looking at on Sunday when we were together in gathered worship. And this Sunday we were in the book of Hebrews. It's chapter 12, verses 18 to 29. And we were looking at how the writer is seeking to encourage believers to keep going in the faith. He's encouraging those particularly from a Hebrew background, a Jewish background. He's encouraging them to keep going in this new faith in Christ that they have found. And he does it by bringing these comparisons and contrasts between their experience of the old covenant and their experience of the new. What was present and brought in the old and what has now been brought in the new. And in our passage that we looked at, we have this comparison between Mount Sinai and Mount Zion. So the giving of the law, the place of the giving of the law. And that was marked by kind of fear and dread and dark and storm and fire and a terrible holiness of God that created a barrier between God and man. And in Zion, the new mountain they have come to, the barrier is gone. It says they can come to God. They come to a city, a heavenly city, the place of the living God. They join thousands and thousands of angels in joyful assembly, and all because of the blood of Christ. Why was he doing that? Well, sometimes we need to get a grasp on the wonder of the truth in which we stand. An interesting thing is that as for those believers he was writing to, so for us, if we're a believer, then we stand in the wonder of the truth of Zion. That's the truth in which we stand. Access replaces separation and barrier. Acceptance replaces that rejection. Is God any less holy? No. But because of the blood of Christ, everything has now changed. And these guys were hearing something really quite radical and quite wonderful. But as for them, so for us. Why is it important to grasp these kind of big truths sometimes? Well, they bring a perspective on our life. In the midst of every day, in the midst of our nation, when things look like they're unraveling so often, in the midst of uncertainty and anxiety about the economy and what's going to happen with government and all those things, as believers, we have a different perspective when we grasp the truth in which we stand. And that perspective means we look at life different. So we are dancing to a different tune than that of the world. We are dancing to something that is heavenly and eternal. And the writer says it's unshakable. All the earthly stuff will pass away. But that to which we have come, that to which we have been called into, is unshakable and eternal. So whatever we're doing, whether we're in the queue at Tesco's, doing the washing up at the sink, or even at gathered worship, out in the garden, playing with the grandkids, we stand in the wonder of the truth of Zion, that which is unshakable and eternal. It's incredible stuff. And if you are here, I hope your eyes are still lifted, and I hope your heart is still lifted toward the Lord in worship. You see, the point of grasping all these things is to give a different perspective, such that we might do what the writer says, which is follow in attentive obedience and give God worship marked with awe and reverence, worship that is pleasing to him. Often we look at the scriptures and we need them grounded, don't we? What does this look like, Lord? Sometimes we need to go soaring into the wonder of the truth to which we have been called. And ask God to just unpack a little more of it for us, so that we might have a different perspective, an unshakable confidence, and a freedom and integrity to worship and obey. So I hope your eyes are still lifted, your heart is still lifted, and when you're looking at the news this week, you look at it slightly differently, that it won't have the impact that maybe it has been having. Because your security, my security, lies in a very different place than number 10 Downing Street or the UN or whoever. So I pray you enjoy the rest of your day, a day filled with the truth of Zion, the wonder in which you stand. God bless you.